Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Mukakradash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawada from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth. And Lord willing to keep edifying. And want to do a little commentary. All right, we haven't heard pretty much what they've said in this meeting because it was it was closed off to the press concerning BB Milkowski, all right, and Vladimir Zelensky showing up to the White House to speak with Trump at the same time. All right, and you Americans, if you don't believe that your nation is occupied by a foreign country, think again. All right, which among the younger generations, they can see it, but you still have these baby boomers, these baby boomer Christians, and Gen X Christians. All right, I'd say millennials and Gen Z, they're not really falling for it. All right, but you do have baby boomers and Gen X that are still falling for the okie doke as far as those tiny tots being America's greatest ally and all that shit. All right, but either way, they done pulled up. All right, and being that they pulled up, especially right after Ukraine hit an Iranian vessel that was carrying, I believe, Russian supplies from Russia to Iran, you see that they're tightening up this alliance on as far as the West is concerned. All right, and that's with the state of Israel, that's with Ukraine, and that's with America. All right, so they've come to the White House. They didn't open this up to the press, which means this wasn't for optics. This was pretty much for strategic alliance, strengthening. All right, America has pretty much halted their strikes. They went on a 12 or 13 day campaign, airstrike campaign. All right, they were bombing civilian infrastructure, which is a war crime. All right, but America is, and the tiny tots, they're known for war crimes. It's in their nature. This is the red horse. Okay, Esau doesn't hate blood, and he uses his policies, his legislation, his narrative, his media to pretty much gloss over everything, right? But as the scriptures say, as prophecy says, the least of the flock shall draw them out. And that's the first scripture I have queued up. All right, because just because Nero is the king of Babylon doesn't mean BB not coming in calling the shots, man. All right, Trump can get on there and say, oh, he doesn't tell me what to do. He can give this tough guy bravado. All right, but every time they tried to uphold this ceasefire, under BB, all right, they'd break the ceasefire by striking Lebanon, which they had that in the memorandum of understanding for them not for the Israelis, damn, for the tiny tots to not bomb Lebanon, but they did it anyway. All right, and that's what's going to cause a great divide with America and the rest of his allies, I see through the spirit, because if America has fully tied his military to the tiny tots now, who's next on the tiny tots hit list? Egypt and Turkey. All right, it's not even a question. All right, Turkey. They were trying to block America from selling these F-35s jets to Turkey, because that would challenge the tiny tots it would challenge the tiny tots air superiority in that region, and they're trying to complete their Greater Israel project. So at some point, America's going to have to choose a side, and we already know the side America is going to choose. They're going to choose the tiny tots over Turkey, which is the second largest or the second most powerful military in NATO at this point. All right, and the reason why the tiny tots haven't attacked NATO directly, or haven't attacked Turkey directly, is because it would activate Article 5, which would basically bring all the rest of these European NATO nations into a direct conflict with the tiny tops. So see how it's all intertwined? All right, but the Lord has this, bitch divided. All right, he has these people divided here in America. He has them divided within their own alliances, man. But this, the powder keg, the straw that breaks the camel's back will be these tiny tops drawing them out. So let's grab this, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right, and we've been bringing this out, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who we've learned this truth from, and the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who has called us to this faith. We've been saying this for years, that this is how this is going to go down. All right, whether people hear it or bear, while people are still occupied with whatever the hell they got going on in their insignificant lives, this has been in the background brewing, but now it's moved to the forefront. Now we're in a space where the president of Israel, the prime minister of Israel, Bibi Milkowski, has come to the White House, they said 7 times since Trump been back in office. So that should tell you who's running the show right now. All right, and this is all leading toward Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. See, war is being prepared among these nations. All right, what's this whole conflict with Iran about? Regime change. Really, it's about the oil, but they don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. But see, Iran has already held their own against America and the state of Israel without a nuclear weapon. They've closed off the Strait of Hormuz, which controls 30% of the oil, world's oil flow. They've collaborated with Yemen, or the Houthis in Yemen, to close off the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which deals with Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Aramco is one of the largest oil companies in the world, and they're all tethered to Babylon. So Iran is touching America's pockets, and they've already proven their resolve. It doesn't matter how many damn people you blow up. Again, the population is 90 million, and they don't take too kindly to the fact that you killed their Ayatollah. They want blood. There's another generation that's being raised up to hate Americas and to hate they call them Big Satan and Little Satan, right? So war is being prepared. It says, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that includes America, because there will be a draft here in America, another draft. And this time, there will be a massive mobilization of troops here. I saw a meme earlier. They was talking about, you got your girlfriend that's preparing, planning the future and all that shit, but your ass going to fight in Iran. They also said during this that Bibi was gonna basically give them classified information that Iran has its nuclear enrichment program heavily fortified under Pickaxe Mountain, and that they would have to bomb Pickaxe Mountain, and that's probably not going to work. So what's the solution? Send in American troops to go take Pickaxe Mountain. All right, and the Iranians, they're waiting on you. They're waiting. They've been preparing for this. They've seen how you dealt in Syria. They've seen how you dealt in Iraq. They've seen how you dealt in Afghanistan. And they've been preparing. For decades now, they've been preparing for you to bring your ass across that damn line, that country border. So it says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And again, now you have Ukraine that's intertwined in this. And Ukraine is currently at odds with Russia. Gog and Magog, Ezekiel the 38th chapter. And the scriptures plainly say that Gog and Magog, meaning Russia, is going to be a guard unto Persia, which is the Iranians. So you see how this is all playing out. You know, the military alliances are being drawn. You know, that's why this White House meeting between these three countries that I mentioned is so telling as far as where we are in prophecy, because we're standing upon the watch. You know, the Lord said he have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. You know, and yeah, it might sound repetitive, it might sound redundant, but prophecy is speaking. You know, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it will surely come, it will not tarry. We're at the time now where it's not tarrying. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You know, a lot of times, you know, covering Iran, you know, back when they killed Soleimani during Trump's first term, you know, they kind of sat back on it. They didn't retaliate like they retaliate instantly now. Now they have a full-on war doctrine of eye for eye. You blow up our civilian infrastructure, we're going to blow up yours. You know? And then Iran has cyber warfare in his back pocket. This is where we are. This is the state of the world right now. America's intertwined in many world conflicts, whether it be Ukraine, whether it be with Iran. You know, China wants to take Taiwan, but China's sitting back waiting because America had to stop fighting because they're depleting their missile. You know, they've been depleted of their missiles trying to fight Iran. They thought Iran was going to just roll over. But that didn't happen. Why? Because the Lord is carrying this thing. So the weak is saying that they're strong. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of the Lord's decision. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. See, this is where we are. The lines are being drawn in the sand. The alliances are clicking up. War is being prepared. The second woe is past. Behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And you people didn't believe World War III was going to be popping off, man. And they're not going to call this World War III, but this is World War III. You know? So this is what's going on, you know, at this point on the tower and prophecy. They're also talking about the merging of man with machine. You know, with these data centers, you know, you got these flock cameras, you got this AI surveillance, and eventually going to put that C-hip in you. All right, Apple TV is coming out with a show, and I saw the dude basically was plugging some shit in his head, but he had a scar, and he had something implanted into his head, man. They're showing you. We're at the end, man. We're at the end. All it takes is for a major black swan event to cut your power out. You know, there was major disruptions to these different telecommunication companies. You know, I think T-Mobile, Verizon, that's been affecting people. So things are moving, things are happening. All right, and we're staying prayed up. But this is the end. There's no mistake about it, man. All right, there are no off-ramps. There is no more diplomacy for how to handle this. It's only going to be war. And this ends with Babylon. I'll grab this to finish off. In Isaiah the 13th chapter. We'll get this. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 9, it says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. What land? America, and the state of Israel. And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And that goes in the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. But also when these missiles get shot off, if you've seen, live coverage of this, it pretty much darkens everything around it. It says, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. See, the Lord has already charged you damn devils. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Who's the terrible? It's Esau's ass. The Lord is about to lay this nigga low. All right, but he's using war because Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua is a power of war. Yahweh is his name. All right, he's using war to bring about. He's using your own nature to bring your end, Esau. Verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. See, that's where we're at. All right, it might not look like we're about to come out on top, brothers that's in this faith. All right, on a carnal sense, it doesn't look like it. All the systems are stacked against us. All right, but the Lord is fighting for us. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. The Lord said, we're going to eat when people are starving. We're going to drink when people are thirsty. We're going to sing for joy of heart when people are howling, for vexation of spirit and sorrow of heart. All right. Verse 13, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts in the day of his fierce anger. And again, this was written thousands of years ago, and it's being played out right now. It says, and it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Those that go and fight in Esau's military, you're going to fall by the sword. You're going to be slain in this third world's war. Verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. That's going to be going on in the shores of America here very soon. Especially when, and I've heard other brothers begin to say this, with them tying the militaries together, they're going to send the Americans to Iran, and they're going to send the tiny tops here. So you're going to have tiny tops, boots on the ground on American soil through the spirit. And you see how genocidal they are. They're going to be running up in y'all shit because they don't care about you. They see all you as goy. You're American, or this, the racism that's been able to preside in America for so long. You damn Edomites, you American Edomites, it ain't going to work. They see you as goy too. How about that, man? Verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall have no delight in it. That's speaking about Russia. Okay, Russia, you're not going to be able to bribe Russia anymore. Russia about to take your ass out, man. Verse 18, it says, their bows, meaning their missiles, also shall dash the young men to pieces. See? You young men that's about to get drafted to this war, you're about to be dashed to pieces. And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, because when these nuclear missiles get shot off, it's mutually assured destruction. Okay? Verse 19, and I'll finish off here. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah by what? Fire and brimstone. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. See? That is the end of America. That is the curtain call on America, Babylon the Great. It shall be as when the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and it shall never be inhabited again. So, you Americans, enjoy your last few moments of your kingdom. All right, because the things that are pretty much being tied together in the Levant region, and the alliances are being made and strengthened, This is what brings your demise. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakradash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.